in today's presentation, we're going to be taking a look at the harem highlights. Now, this is a sort of mini segment, so to speak, different from Puppet. Similar in a way where I want to talk about anime and manga that I find really spectacular, but I just want to dedicate this whole entire video towards harems in particular. In fact, most of my videos are harems in a way. But yeah, these particular series, because they are kinda on the more etchier side. Yes, I have to admit, of course it is. It's my trash taste, but yeah, but I still find these series to be a really good read. So let's take a look at them one by one, shall we? First off, we have Yankee JK Kusuhana-chan. Now, you know me, and I love me some delinquent gyaro, mostly delinquent type waifu material. So perfect, and I am so dumb. I am absolutely blind to have this fly under my radar. It has Yankee in its title. It's almost, oh my gosh. When I began reading this at first, it was recommended to me by my good friend, and oh boy, did I really miss a hidden gem, especially towards the harem genre. So let's take a look at the synopsis further. So this is a story wherein the protagonist Sotome, he is enrolled at a school with a ratio of 1 by 359, with a 301 to 1 by 359 ratio, and that being that Sotome, the main protagonist, not this one, not her. Sotome, the main protagonist, is the only male enrolled in the school. But it is scary because most of the girls in said school are delinquents, or really gyaro types. They're really harsh and really, I guess, fierce towards him, the protagonist, being that he is the only male in the school. It is originally an all-girls school, yes, but now it turned co-ed. And if you're wondering why he's the only guy there instead of other males also happening to enroll at the school as well, then, well, it's plot, I guess. But suffice it to say, our main protagonist really just wants to, enroll in this school because it has a good fashion subject, a fashion course that he would like to take. He's really passionate about that stuff. So with this school being his only choice, or his best choice, I forgot, he enrolls to that school just to follow his dreams, follow his passion. And yeah, it is tough for him. It's tough for him because all the girls are scary. Even at some point, even I got, I really am frightened, or really woke me up as to how scary these type of the situation can be, towards how it escalates into something frightening and really shocking for that matter. But then he encounters best girl Hanako, which is the girl on the main cover here. Hanako is the strongest delinquent in the school, and as far as I know, she's the strongest delinquent in the school, but also comes with the best gapmoe moments that I have really ever seen towards a delinquent type. I actually scratched that. Akutsu-san shows delinquent gapmoe perfectly, but Kusuhana-chan, or Hanako, that's the title suggests, her family name is Kusuhana. Yeah, Kusuhana, her first name is Hanako. Hanako as this delinquent showing gapmoe towards the main protagonist. It's beautiful, and especially how the pure maiden moments, the pure maiden reactions that she has and she gets. Now, as more of the heroines befriend our main protagonist, I can only say that it's simply heartwarming. It's heartwarming to see them open up to him, and to know that he is a great guy, and that the girls don't have to be too harsh towards him or really take too much of an advantage towards him. And yeah, he in return just shows, like, I just wanted to live my school life in peace. I just wanted to have a this moment wherein I want to study fashion and stuff like that, towards just being your standard, or not standard rather, but he's really leaning towards becoming a dense type of harem protagonist, which is so understandable, and that really there is really good reason for that, and you'll see why if you've read or you will read the first chapter of the manga. Now, besides the ecchi elements though of the story, what really got me hooked is the surprisingly wonderful pacing towards the very scene or the plot points of the story, in which it adds a friend or a girl, a student, a classmate who would open up to the main protagonist, to show how harem-ish the series can get. The harem moments and the ecchi moments, of course, but there's also development within it. Don't get me wrong, that's how all harems really like to do a plot, right? It can be, or move towards a story. It can either be for simple fan service, or it's ecchi but with a reason, with a good reason to further elevate or to further develop something towards the story, in which the characters can grow, and that's brilliant. It's brilliant. So yeah, harem-ish moments in the series, and of course how the main heroines attempt to make a move towards our dense protagonist. It's really, like I said, I really can't blame him because of that incident in the first chapter. But the growth, however, the growth of these heroines, the way that they really open up to him and accept him for that matter, it's really it's really smooth. It's smooth sailing, and I have really nothing wrong. I have nothing to say other than it's a really gentle harem type of series. The gap moe moments are so perfect. Wonderful cast of characters, heroines for that matter. You have the childhood friend type, as you know. But actually, what I also noticed is that it also encapsulates a lot of these delinquent type, or I don't know, I guess bad girl type of character trope, in a sense. You know, if you look at their character traits, strictly speaking, from before they befriended the main protagonist, of course they were, I guess, yeah, they were bad in a way, not bad as in sick bad, but like they can be a bit harsh, or they can be a bit mean towards the main protagonist, that type of bad. And throughout the series, he helps them along the way, just as a usual harem protagonist would, and everything it fits perfectly as to how he then grabs their heart and their affection. I mean, each of them is, all of the main heroines, or yeah, along the nearing end of the, or as the chapters go on and more heroines are added into the story, or to the harem group for that matter, they all are fully aware that each of them is in love with the main protagonist, but it does not make it seem like it is a harsh war or a full-on battlefront whatsoever, but rather it's a fair fight. It's a really heartwarming, gentle, fair fight in which we get to see these heroines not backing down, they staying strong towards their feelings, and how they really dedicate that, I'm in love with this person, and because he changed me, I also wanted to change. I also wanted to, have more of a better conscience, or become a better person for this person, and because this person also changed me. And the cycle really just goes on as to how these relationships support each other. It's really strong, and I just love it for that. Next, Harem. So this manga series is entitled The Slave of the Magic Capital's Elite Troops. Now, for the plot. So in this world, apparently, there are dimensional gates that lead to another world. It has appeared all over Japan, and within that other world, there's a resource known as a peach. Now, a peach, as they have discovered, gives supernatural abilities to only females. For men, it doesn't work apparently, but to females, it gives them powers. And because of this, the whole power balance, I suppose, of the gender in the country, and how women are already seen as this the dominant or the superior people, because they have powers and men do not. Women are given much more privilege than men, basically. So yeah, with that being said, in the other world there are also monsters as well, And as you would know it, these monsters could threaten the world. They could slip into the real world and attack them. So the logical thing to do is to establish this a sort of military force to fight and defend the country. To fight the monsters and defend the country. There we go. Now, our main protagonist, Yuki, got caught up in the mess. He got slipped into the other world, and he was attacked by, I forgot what's the proper term of the specific term of the creatures, but he got attacked, and he was saved by our main heroine here, Captain Kyoka, and she is a captain at one of the units of said military force, and she tried to save him. Now, the situation got dire, and it led Kyoka to use her powers to Yuki. Now, what is her ability? Kyoka has the ability to enslave a being. It can be a monster or a human for that matter. Enslave a being and drawing out their power within them, or really bring out their true potential, so to speak. And with that, it also caused Yuki, the main protagonist, to turn and shift, to really turn into this sort of bestial form, and like a monster-like form, so to say, right? Monster-like form, who is now bound in a slave pact, master servant pact with Kyoka, and with that, he fights alongside her. And I'm not gonna get any further with the details because things will get itchy afterwards, and you'll see why. But I do have to say, however, is that this manga, the story blends the etchy elements into the action moments perfectly. Not perfectly, but it's really smooth how it really keeps it balanced, It's both a wink, good manga series, and also awesomely good, sick action fight sequences, sick story for that matter, the abilities of the heroines, the fighting prowess, and how the main protagonist Yuki learns more about this power that he has been given by Kyoka. The main protagonist also getting into these sort of harem situations. It is a harem, come on, because only girls have the ability to gain supernatural abilities from the peach, and boys don't. So with a guy being involved by a power of the peach, then it makes sense. Really smart move. But yeah, there's also a really good plot behind it as well, don't get me wrong. Behind the secrets of the other world, the characters involved, the mystery behind certain characters. I won't get into it too much because I don't want to spoil it. But yes, the sweetness of the whole harem action essence of the story is really shown it well in the manga series, and I just certainly love it for that. It's really brilliantly portrayed as well, and I have to say, best girl is certainly Tenka. No questions asked. She's definitely top tier, and a lot of the fandom agrees as well. She is just perfect, and one of the best reasons why you should watch this or you should read the series for that matter. Tenka is just, again, the plot really is similar to that of Yankee JK Kuzahana-san. You have this scenario wherein male protagonist goes into a environment where it's only girls. The girls are harsh towards him, and it takes time for the main protagonist to open up and to gain their trust and whatnot. It has that same essence towards it, don't get me wrong. In fact, I actually read this manga first and then the Yankee JK Kuzahana. And I have to say that with the whole I don't know if I can say stigma, I guess, in a way, towards a lot of harem series, and I know why, of course. It's completely understandable how it can also be quite frustrating. I do have to say that the way that is being portrayed as a quote-unquote harem is brilliantly done because of the involvement rather of the abilities, the supernatural abilities of each person. And there's also more to how it connects towards the villains and really the bigger picture of the whole story, the whole world for that matter. And it's just one thing that I'm excited to look forward to especially not only towards the interpersonal relationships between all of the characters, Tenka for that matter, Queen Tenka, but also towards how the main protagonist and the main heroine, supposed to be main heroine, I suppose, Kyoka, comes into terms with one another, and how the both of them can reach higher heights, just reach shonen type like new powers, and and defeating or really just having a high position at the military force. But actually, I do have to say this one thing though, is that I can guarantee, or I can really say that there is gonna be a really good plot towards this. The whole mystery is still gonna be solved, and towards climbing this journey towards reading the manga series, how it balances out the forward of the plot and the ecchi moments of it, it's nice. And as I said before, whole lot of mystery left, and I'm looking forward to it. Next, Harem. The older knight is cute only in front of me. Yeah. My gosh. Alright, so for the plot, so we have Haru. He is a 16-year-old knight in a cavalry unit whose commander is this person right here, Captain Karen. She is 29 years old, and for Haru it was love at first sight, for him, and he sort of confesses to her right in front of a lot of people, and wouldn't you know it, Karen is this fierce, stoic, and really dignified woman, but of course she turned him down. However, she actually really was flustered or embarrassed to the fact that someone actually proposed or confessed to her, for that matter, therefore signaling that she is actually a pure maiden type of character, the pure maiden type of waifu, and it's sweet. The Bigamo way is with her whole persona and all that, it's strong. And Haru makes a comment about her, she blushes, and how he tries to impress her. She also admires that part of him. And Haru is this really, trying his best to gain the affection of Captain Karen, but it's to no avail. It's kinda hilarious in some way. It's a rom-com for that matter. Not an isekai, it is a fantasy. And a really good one at that as well, because there are a lot of cute moments as well towards Karen, how she also feels a bit of synergy, I suppose, towards how Haru tries his best. But yet again, there's still that line of professionalism, of being professional, keeping it professional for that matter. And throughout the story, we've seen a lot of moments wherein, despite having a lot of new elements that make it seem like a harem, which kinda is, come on, don't get me wrong, there is still a strong connection between Karen and Haru, in which it's not more of a harem but rather a romance between them, and these other girls are just there to, act as a support, fan service here and there, of course. But yeah, it's really, Shota-con, I guess. Speaking of Shota-con, the mother of the goddess dormitory, the anime airing this season. Oh boy! Oh my gosh! Oh, why is this here? I mean, don't get me wrong, the story-wise, it's definitely a plot. So that's it for Harem Highlights. If you do find the series that I've mentioned interesting, then please do check it out. Full disclosure though, it's as a harem, you could expect it could be trash, but that's really your own preference. But most importantly, come on, there's a lot of ecchi elements here and there. It's a harem, come on, for God's sake. But suffice it to say, there is a good highlight towards stories such as this. And as I've said in a previous video, harems, they really have their strong points as a really good genre of story for that matter. And yeah, harem highlight.